What is going on, warriors and farmers of Tamaris? Back again with another Call of Dragons video. This is going to be the updated guide for MAGGRAT in the game. She is still the strongest archer hero in Call of Dragons. This episode is going to show you the 3 different talent trees that are used by MAGGRAT. MAGGRAT can be used with different troop types in the game, so you're going to need a lot of variations. We're also going to check out all the different WARPETS that you can use to get the best value out of MAGGRAT. We got lots of artifacts and lots of good stuff to cover today. It has been 3 years and MAGGRAT is still the best archer hero in the game. If you are still new here, make sure you like, share, subscribe, leave some comments down below. And without wasting any more time, let's get this party started. Alright, beautiful people of Tamaris, welcome to the MAGGRAT show in the Call of Dragons. It's been almost 3 years and MAGGRAT is still the strongest archer hero in the game. Do not hesitate to invest in this hero. You just close your eyes and you dump all your tokens onto her and you are good to go. She is still the strongest archer hero in the game. Let us see what makes her so good. So every time MAGGRAT deals normal attack, she's gonna get variable healing. And after doing 5 normal attacks, she's gonna do a 500% normal attack damage, which is just ridiculous. This is what makes her so good for open field PvP. She can instantly give you a lot of value just after 5 seconds. Usually it takes you 10 seconds to get full rage for a single rage skill. MAGGRAT only needs like 5 or 6 seconds to do this damage, and she can do it over and over and over. She is just crazy. When we go on to her second skill, MAGGRAT is going to get 40% attack for 3 seconds, and it's going to be awesome. It's going to make her so strong for the PvP. Now, if you're going to play MAGGRAT with mages, especially the Celestials, you're going to keep her at 5-5-1-1. That is the low configuration for MAGGRAT. However, it is recommended that you max her out, because when you max her out, you're going to get the 5% more normal attack damage. If you don't max her out, it's only going to be at 450%. Now we go on to the third skill, which gives her Legion Marksman unit deal 15% more normal attack damage and gain 20% HP. She's an archer hero, but she can be used with mages. So you don't need skill number 3 if you're going to use her with mages. Now, if you're going to use her with archers, you're going to use skill number 3. When we go to skill number 4, when garrisoning, she's going to receive healing every 10 seconds, healing factor 200, and gain 10% attack for 5 seconds. Again, she just goes crazy. This is what makes MAGGRAT so strong for open field PvP. She can be used with mages, she can be used with archers. Now let us go and check out some of the best pairings to use with MAGGRAT in the Call of Dragons. Okay, warriors of Tamaris, we're going to start off with MAGGRAT and the mages. As of right now, the archers are not performing very well in open field PvP. Therefore, we're going to start off with the mages. Number 1 pairing for MAGGRAT is going to be her number 1 partner, which is Zeta. You just put MAGGRAT and Zeta and you never look back. This is one of the best investments in Call of Dragons. You invest in these 2 heroes, you use MAGGRAT for archers and for mages, and you are good to go. So Zeta is going to be excellent for MAGGRAT and the Celestial. The second one behind her is going to be Thunderlin. Thunderlin is another excellent hero to pair up with MAGGRAT with your Celestial. And then you're going to put Husk. Husk is also an excellent candidate for MAGGRAT. And we have Bahorn as well. Bahorn is also another good candidate to use with MAGGRAT. Now, in terms of strength, I think Thunderlin and Zeta are going to fight for the top spot to be the best pair for MAGGRAT when it comes to Celestials. And then you can either think about Husk or Bahorn if you want to try it out. You can also use Thea behind MAGGRAT, but Thea is best used with Musiang. So these are the pairings for MAGGRAT and the mages. Now, when we go to the archers, you don't even need to think. You just put MAGGRAT and the Zeta and you never look back. So it's going to be MAGGRAT and Zeta for archers, and that is it. You don't need to think about anything else. As of right now, we just got Kaylan in the game. Kaylan is going to be an excellent candidate to use with MAGGRAT, especially for your garrison, even for open field PvP. Kaylan is another good hero. He's got an excellent skill number 4 that you can recycle when you're doing those quick short fights in PvP. So Kaylan can be a good candidate to pair up with MAGGRAT. So we're just going to keep simple. If you're going to use MAGGRAT with archers, just put Zeta behind. If you're going to use MAGGRAT with mages, use Zeta or you can use Thunderlin. Those are the two best options. You can also put Husk, or you can use Bahorn. So these are the best pairings for Maggrat in the current state of the game. We're going to move on to the best artifacts to use with Maggrat. When it comes to Maggrat with archers, you're going to put the Gilded Crossbow and you never look back. This is the best artifact to use with the Maggrat and the Zeta. Now, if you don't have this artifact, you have other good options. Let's check them out. You can use the Shadow Blades. It's a fantastic option. You can also use, what is this artifact called? The Heart of the Tamaris. So these are the two artifacts that I can think of. However, the best one is going to be the Gilded Crossbow, which was designed for Zeta and Maggrat. When it comes to mages, you also have a lot of options for the artifacts to use. Now, one of the best ones is going to be the Phoenix Eye. Phoenix Eye is going to work very, very well with the Maggrat. You can use the Thunder Elegy, especially if you're going to pair Maggrat with Thunderlin. Where is the Thunder Elegy? Right here. This is the Thunder Elegy that you can use. And then if you want to keep it simple, you can go with the Tear of Arbon. This artifact works excellent with Maggrat and the Zeta. So you're going to use this artifact as well. What other mage artifacts can you use? We got plenty. We got lots of mage artifacts in the game that you can use. However, we're just going to keep things simple. You got Phoenix Eye, you got the Thunder Elegy, and you have the Tear of Arbon. Those are the three that are very, very useful with Maggrat and the Celestials. When it comes to Warped, you got plenty of options to use with Maggrat. Let's start off with the archers. When it comes to archers, this is the Warped that you use with Maggrat and the Zeta. It is known as the Shadow Manticore. You just build it the exact same way you see here on the screen. Now I have one skill slot left. Which skill should you add? Allow me to show you. When we go to train, you are going to add one of these two skills, okay? I think the best one that's going to fit here nicely is going to be Tooth and Claw. So if you have 8 skill slot, put whatever you see here and then add a Tooth and Claw on top. If you don't want to use the Tooth and Claw, your other option is going to be the other Chain Strike, which is the Intense Chain Strike. This one can also fit into this lineup nicely. Now, if you want to take things to another crazy level, you can try and put Advanced Chain Strike as well. However, it is not recommended. You can get more damage with either the Intense Chain Strike or the Tooth and Claw. But in this case, I think Tooth and Claw might be the best option over here because it's going to support this advanced barbarism and help you do a lot of damage almost every second when Maggrat is healing while doing DPS. So Tooth and Claw will be what you put here. Now, if you don't want to use this pet with the Maggrat, you can use the Sand Lizard as well. Sand Lizard is going to work excellent with Maggrat. I think I have one right here. So this would be a good Sand Lizard to use with Maggrat. You just add a Chain Strike and you're going to put the other healing skill. What is it called? Should be right here. This one right here, Advanced Chain Strike. So you put a Chain Strike, you put Advanced Chain Strike. And I think this one is going to be a crazy healing pet for your Maggrat. When it comes to pairing Maggrat with the Celestials, you got plenty of options. Let's check them out one by one. I think the number one on the list is going to be the Sapphire Frederick. This is what you use on the Maggrat with Zeta and the Celestials. You just build it the way you see it over here. You add the magic spirits here at the end and you are good to go. You take out this skill and then you put a different one. Let me show you what I mean. So when we go to the skills, if you're going to use the Sapphire Frederick on the Maggrat, you're going to remove this skill, the Intense Pain Bloom, and you're going to add Elemental Harmony instead because they are both intelligence. So you add Elemental Harmony and then you add the Magic Spirit here. 8 skill slots and you are good to go. This is the Sapphire Frederick that you use. What next can you use? You're going to have the Sand Lizard. And this is what the Sand Lizard looks for mages. Just take a screenshot, copy this, build it for your Sand Lizard, and you are good to go. What are some skills that you can add over here? You're going to have this skill right here known as the Sudden Epiphany. This is something you can add. And then the Shield Breaker is something you can add. So here we got 7 skill slot. Let's say you add Shield Breaker. It's going to be 8 skill slot. You're going to take out this Heart Wall and you're going to put the Sudden Epiphany and you are good to go. This is going to be your Sand Lizard for Maggrat and Zeta with the Celestials. Now you have other options as well. There are many mage pets that can work with Maggrat and Zeta. As of right now, many people have like a good Seraphic Phaedric, so you can use your Seraphic Phaedric on your Maggrat and Zeta. In my case, I have an Ice Lizard at 3-star talent. I use this Ice Lizard and it's working very, very well on the Maggrat and the Zeta. So you can use pretty much any mage pet. Magzay, they don't have any rage skill, so they should be able to use any mage pet that you have in your inventory. And with all of that out of the way, let us check out some awesome talent tree for Maggrat in Call of Dragons. She can be used with mages, she can be used with archers. So let's go to the talent tree and see what we are working with. So we're going to start off with the first talent tree that you see here. This talent tree, I have called it the damage and long range warfare, or Behemoth. If you're going to fight in Behemoth, if you want damage, if you're using long range warfare, this is the talent tree that you need to use for your Maggrat. So we've seen all of the skills, we know what they look like. I'm going to point out the most important ones. So when we take dedication, it's going to allow you to get more healing, which should trigger Maggrat skill number 2 and give you 40% attack. When it comes to the end, because you're looking for damage, you're going to go with Mark of War. The longer you stay in the fight, the more attack you are going to get. So with this skill, every time you enter battle, you're going to get 0.5% attack right away. After you fight for 10 seconds, it's going to go to 1 second. When you fight for 20 seconds, it's going to go to 1.5 seconds, making this skill very, very useful in Behemoth or in seasons where you have long range warfare. Now you can use the Mighty Slash, which is an excellent skill. However, this is going to be something you go for if you just want raw damage and just do as much as you can in a long fight. What else do we need to point out here? We come to the end here, we take the Bull's Eye. This thing is going to trigger at like turn number 10. So you can pick it up for more DPS in Behemoth and long range warfare seasons. So this is what the talent tree for Maggrat looks like. As you can see, we have avoided a lot of the march speed because in long range warfare seasons, your march speed is not going to be so necessary because you have the range of the mages. You're not going to be targeted. So this is what you use for more damage. We're going to move on to the next talent tree for Maggrat, which is going to be the one that you use with the Celestials. And this is what it looks like. This is what a typical Maggrat and Celestial talent tree would look like. So you're going to avoid the Archer talent tree branch because this skill is going to be for marksman. You're going to waste 5 points over here. And then this march speed is also locked to marksman only, so you don't really need it. You're going to come to the right hand side. You pick this march speed because you need it for your mages. You go into the garrison tree. You pick the march speed. You keep going. You just take the skills. They look alike. They look identical. And then at the end here, you can see I picked Mighty Slash. I would suggest you go with the Mark of War, especially if you're going to use it in the long range warfare season. Wait, we're using this with mages. So Mark of War is going to be a good pickup. When you use with mages, you have the time to cast, not cast a rage skill. You have the time to fight for long. When you're using mages, you're not going to get targeted. So this skill is going to be pretty good on your mages. And the mages don't really do a lot of normal attack. So this Mighty Slash might not be a fantastic option, but it's still excellent. I would recommend you go with Mark of War. You just switch it up and you should be good to go. The third and final talent tree of the video is going to be called the Archers. And this is what it looks like. This is the talent tree that you use with Maggrat and Zeta in seasons where you don't have long range warfare. You're going to pick up this march speed, which is going to be helpful. You can decide between this normal attack and march speed, depending on what you're looking for. But if you're going to look for more damage, you go with Adrenaline Rush. If you want more march speed, you go with Overall Speed. As you can see, I have avoided this skill here at the end, known as the Bullseye, because this thing is going to trigger on turn number 10 when you fight. When you don't have long range warfare with your archers, time is going to be your enemy because everybody is going to be targeting you. So most of the time, you probably won't be able to use this Bullseye efficiently, which is why you kind of stop over here. You grab this march speed, you grab this normal attack, and you move on to the right hand side of the talent tree. So everything looks the same like before. These are all the talents that you pick, and you got 2 points left. You're going to drop it here to give you more healing and also allow you to trigger Maggrat skill number 4 and allow you to get that 40% attack almost every single time. So this is going to be awesome. As you can see here, I have avoided Mark of War for archers. That is because you don't have time. So you're going to trigger this at the beginning of the fight. You're going to get 0.5% more attack. But then it's going to trigger again 10 seconds later. And you know, when you fight with archers without long range warfare, you might not have that time, which is why the Mighty Slash is going to give you that instant damage right away, especially when you trigger the skill. So this is what the talent tree for Maggrat and archers look like. I think that's it for the video, guys. This is the current guide for Maggrat in the Call of Dragons, the updated guide, just keeping you up to date with what is going on with the hero. She is still the best archer hero in Call of Dragons. No one comes close because she can heal, which means she's going to mitigate a lot of the, you know, the counter attack that she takes when she fights her enemies. And we also got to talk about this skill, this Mighty Slash. This skill can trigger counter strike on enemies. So you got to keep that in mind if you're going to be having the skill, but it is pretty awesome. So Maggrat is still good. We recently got Kaylan and Ruby, but Maggrat is just kicking butt in open field, taking names, doing so much damage. Very, very versatile. You can use with mages, you can use with archers. Man, one of the best heroes in the game. On top of that, when it comes to the artifacts, if you don't have the expensive artifacts, you can use the Tear of Arbon, you can use the Heart of the Kamasi, you can use like Phoenix Eye. These are all simple artifacts that you get from the regular artifact compendium, and they are going to make your Maggrat very, very strong in the open field PvP. And her pet is one of the best, especially with this skill, Advanced Barbarism. It just takes Maggrat to a whole new level. Like no one comes close to the amount of damage that she does in a short amount of time. Thank you guys for watching the video. If you're new, subscribe for more content like this. Until then, see you guys in the next one. Bye bye for now.